Hello once again. I'm sitting here down at the pond that I love to sit by here at the sanctuary, and there's my friend Willow. I like to sit and enjoy her company. I've just been reflecting on the last couple of videos, and whilst I was talking about why I do that, and as I've mentioned, part of it's been my call to action, which has been based upon my early childhood experiences, and this part of me that wanted to help others that have been going through it themselves. And as I dropped deeper, I realized that there's that part of me that wanted not other people to go through that. What I and my family had gone through, but also other people who've gone through far worse than I have. So for me it was about, yes, that became my why, or my driving force. But deeper than that was a desire for the next generation, as I spoke of. So in my early days, a lot of my healing modalities were around, started with Reiki, and then got into shamanism, druidry, went through sweat lodges, and I still do. I co-facilitate a sweat lodge. And a lot of the early days were around of what they class as alternative, because that's what I really needed, something alternative to what was showing up in my world. And that was the spiritual side of life, the soul part of me calling out and saying, hey, Johnny, this is a soul's journey. So I totally own that this is my journey as well when I show up here. But it's also how I show up. And as I said, my early times was my own foray into my own healing, and using more what is classed as alternative. But what I've come to understand is it's not actually alternative. I like to call it as complementary. And I believe that in order to move on, it is about looking at our health and well-being from a holistic point of view. A lot of the traditional cultures, and here in New Zealand, Te Whare Tapu Whā, they speak of that. And in the modern medicine model, it is more focused on the physical, mental and emotional. But as in Te Whare Tapu Whā, they talk about the whenua, the land, and our connection with the land, that our health and well-being is so connected to, and our wairua, our spirit, and the whanau, our social interconnectedness with each other. And I really align with that, and some of the other teachings, the Native American teachings and the Celtic Druidry, was about our connection with each other, our connection to the land. But what I started to see was a lot of people losing that connection, and in that loss of connection to themselves. So has begun my journey of, well, how can we do that? Excuse me, I'm going to get up and go into a bit of the sun here. It's getting a bit nippy. Been out working in the garden, so that's better. So in my early years, as I said, it was looking at coming from the spiritual side, which I personally felt was an important part of what was missing in my life. But what I started to see show up was people that were coming with looking for healing, and I would give them ease. I remember one old lady coming and, you know, on crutches and that, hobbling up, and so doing my Reiki, and she had a clearing. I cleared the blocked energy, and away she walked, and oh great, that's thank you. But a month later she was back. And so I started to ask, well, why is that? Then I realized she was going back into the same thought pattern and the same environment that created it in the first place. So began my journey of exploration into other modalities, which, like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which has to do with the mind and how a lot of our patterns of thinking and our beliefs are formed. I got into family constellation, shadow work, a bit of psychology there, and there were a few other modalities that really helped me to bring things into balance. And as I said in the last video, I was already on the physical side with using food as medicine. I'd started to write a cookbook and about, you know, healthy food, but then I realized that interconnected with healthy food, and I was asking, well, why do most people, and they're talking over 90% of people who go on diets and start trying to eat healthy food, it doesn't work out for them. So I started to explore why, and started to look at it from a holistic point of view. Why is it that people with the best of intentions try dieting to lose weight and help their health and well-being, but it wasn't working? Then I realized connected, and this has been my own journey as well, with the weight I was holding, there was also somatically held emotional and mental problems there as well. So I started looking at the whole thing, and that's why I now present myself as holistic health and well-being. Because I know if we're only treating one aspect of ourselves, and quite often we're treating symptoms. I now know that the body is the barometer of the soul, as Annette Noontil speaks of. So the work that I offer is looking at the whole person. And I realize that, man, we arrive in this world without a manual, a how-to. So my cooking, what started as a healthy cooking book and then started to morph into healthy foods and medicine, it's now expanded more into a holistic health and well-being. And I call it Transform and Heal Your Life. And I'd like to speak of that later, because that's a video in itself. But what it is helping people to connect with themselves. And in that connection with themselves, they can start to connect with what's going inside their body and their mind and their emotional self. And as they start to get in tune with that, then something else arises. This soul self, spiritual self, whatever we want to call it. This calling, this intuitive self that has been suppressed. And that's where a lot of the shadow work I do came into being. So now I still do Reiki, I still do shamanism, whatever people are needing at that time or asking of me, I still show up for that. But I'm finding for myself, it's part of this with this videos, is start looking at, instead of just these one-off healings, and they do give people ease, and sometimes people might come for 2 or 3 or 4, but I'm looking at how can we make changes that stick in our lives? How can we transform it so that these become us? So instead of we're doing really well on diets, but all of a sudden the emotions come in, the mental stuff comes in, the blocks, and then we fall off so-called the wagon or something. And then people get upset because and self-judgmental because that's happened. So my drive at this moment with these videos is to start looking at not just short terms. I'm still going to be available for one-on-one consultations, but to start looking at putting together some courses. And I put together, it's now morphed from a book, and it still might be separated into books, but at this stage it's actually an interactive course, which basically means it's something tangible, useful. It's not about information. There's exercises for people to do, and then to incorporate it in their life, because it's one thing to actually know, but unless you take action. So it's helped to support people on that journey. So I've completed the crux of it, or the format and all of the data sheets. But beyond that is the videos. And the videos in themselves will be the difference is because it's okay to read stuff, but to actually have somebody to take you through it and be there to guide you, support you. And part of it as well is, as getting a group of people together who want to go through this, who really want to transform their lives, and not just fix a part of it, but really integrate and change and transform and heal their life. Then together we'll journey as a group, supporting each other. Myself creating the space, and yes, sharing some useful information, but mainly it becomes interactive as people start to speak of what's going on for them. I've already started in explaining it, and that's all good. This is just part of me showing up and doing these live things as well. So yeah, today I just wanted to speak about, in the other videos I talked about why I show up, and now I'm starting to speak about how I'm showing up, and what I've been up to over the last 10 years of putting this together. So this is the beginning of my journey of stepping into a new platform. This course will also be available on my website. It's already on there, but I haven't completed the videos. So yeah, part of doing these videos is to help me to start to begin that journey itself. So I'll leave it there. Day 3 on this video expression challenge, whatever we want to call it. So yesterday I showed you a beautiful part of the sanctuary, and today I'd like to show you another aspect of it. Look at this. These were willows we planted probably about 3 years ago, and now look at them. Look at how tall and beautiful. And we've got this beautiful lake here. So I just invite you at this moment and this time to really have a think about that. Consider your life. Are we really living our life to its fullest expression? And if there are things that are kind of stuck and in the way, and yep, I've been there with all my excuses and all of that, but if you really want to transform and heal your life, and it's not so much that you have to do the full course and that, but if you really just want a bit of help and a bit of direction, or if you're feeling stuck. I had a client today stuck in his life, and now he's taken some action. So please reach out. You know why I do this. And look at this beauty. And now I'm starting to share how. So bless you all. Love you heaps. Hope to hear from you. Bye.